Hello, in this video, I would like to look at a Stanford study which looked at the relationship between exposure to wildfire smoke and preterm birth. Now, this study specifically looked at the incidence of preterm birth and a mother's exposure to a type of particulate matter called PM 2.5. This means particulate matter that measures 2.5 micrometers. Now, this is very, very fine particulate matter. It's actually 3% the diameter of a human hair. So, if we dig a little bit into this study, it was shown that wildfire smoke of this kind produces a roughly 3.4% greater likelihood that a mother will give birth to a premature baby. Now, there was a lot to this study. A lot of the parameters were explained in great detail, and they can get a little tricky, and I don't think that they're necessarily of huge import to this video. So I will spare you and just say that with this study comes an understanding, really for the first time, that wildfire smoke is potentially very hazardous to an unborn baby. It is hypothesized that wildfire smoke of the nature PM 2.5 produces an inflammatory response, which they say initiates the likelihood that a preterm birth will take place. Now, this is very concerning, but it also tracks with the idea that scientists are forever learning the true scope and complexity of what is known as environmental health, or to put another way, environmental toxicology. Now, there is always a push to study the environment and try to understand how environmental contaminants affect human health. And this field will only grow as the climate becomes more and more unstable and humans are subjected to forces of nature which we are not used to. So it is incumbent that we continue to study issues such as this so that we can have any hopes of trying to mitigate any potential effects that can come from something similar to being exposed to wildfire smoke. It is my belief, based on some of my previous laboratory experience, that studies such as the Stanford study will not be the last study which shows a disturbing link between the change in climate and some environmental contaminants' negative health effects on our bodies. I can't tell you what the studies will reveal, but I can tell you with confidence that the Stanford study will not be the last of this kind. So it is truly important that the government gives scientists all the funding necessary to continue studies of this nature, for we cannot defend ourselves against a biological or environmental harm that we do not understand. As long as we grow to understand the harms that we are presented with, there's always the hope that we can learn to mitigate the risk that such a harm presents. But the only way to do this is through tremendous scientific effort and the funding to match any scientific research inquiries that are deemed of great curiosity to future scientists as they try to understand how we will best manage our way through the impending climate crisis.